is CA Rekha. So today in this session, we'll be covering the topics of emphasis of matter paragraph and other matter paragraph. So in the previous session, I already gave you an overview of SA 705, that is with respect to modified audit opinion. So how it is addressed in the audit report and what are the additional components that will be coming in the audit report when your opinion is modified. So in this current session, we'll be discussing the topic of emphasis of matter paragraph and other matter paragraph, and also I'll be giving an overview of what is key audit matters and what is the significance of that. So we'll just go on to the session. We'll start with the session. So first, to tell about the objective. So why this particular topic, or why additionally, in addition to the audit report, in addition to the opinion given, in addition to the basis for opinion given, why there is an additional element called as emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. So we saw the contents of the audit report in the first session, that is when I was discussing about unmodified opinion. We saw like it will have your title, the addressee, you have the opinion, you have the basis for opinion, you have a emphasis of matter, other matter, key audit matters, and also what is the relevance of this particular emphasis of matter paragraph. Now, normally when the auditor gives an opinion, either modified or unmodified, there are few elements which the auditor, in the judgment of the auditor, he feels it is important or it is fundamental for the users to get a better understanding of the financial. So though he has given the opinion, in addition to the opinion, so it is not just with a restricted to the opinion. So in addition to the opinion, the auditor might feel, okay, he needs to draw the attention of the users to certain other elements which is important, which is equally important, and it is required for the better understanding of the financial. So this is mainly for enhancing the understandability of the financials with respect to the user. So that is a basic objective, first one. And also sometimes the auditor might feel it is necessary to communicate to the audit users of financial statement about what are the additional responsibilities that the auditor has undertaken with respect to that particular audit, particular engagement. Or it could be some element of your audit report that needs better understanding. So under these circumstances, the auditor might give a emphasis, add matters in your emphasis of matter or other matter paragraph respectively. So the basic objective is to draw the user's attention by giving some additional information or giving some additional communication in the report. So normally when it is given is when or certain matters which, although it is represented in your financial statements, and it is though it is represented, it is of such significant importance, or it is important for the users to have a better understanding. So better understanding, readability, better for better getting a clean idea about, a good idea about what it is actually telling you. So such kind of situations, for better understanding, enhancing the understandability, the auditor gives a additional paragraph, enters additional paragraph known as emphasis of matter paragraph. So we can include that. Or sometimes the auditor feels certain responsibilities that is undertaken by the auditor, or certain elements of audit report that need better understanding, it needs some elaborate understanding. In such cases also he might give a emphasis or other matter paragraph respectively. So this is the objective. So whenever additional communication is required, or whenever for better understanding of the financials, they need to include these two paragraphs. Now, when, under what circumstances each of the paragraphs are included? Now, when do the auditor include an emphasis of matter paragraph? So this is, as the word gives, it is to emphasize something that is already disclosed in your financials, that is already there in your financials, but it requires some kind of a disclosure, or it's some disclosure at the audit report level, so that the users get a better understanding. So in such cases, you give a emphasis of matter paragraph. So emphasis of matter paragraph is normally included when, in the auditor's judgment, certain matters are of such importance that it is fundamental to the user's understanding of the financials. So such cases, the auditor includes the emphasis of matter paragraph So under what circumstances could it be? Like we will see few examples. Say for example, there is some kind of a litigation, a rare one, not a very common litigation. So some kind of litigation is there, and there is some kind of a uncertainty about what will be the outcome of that litigation. So there is a case or a lawsuit pending against the company. They're not very sure about what could be the outcome of that. So in such cases, the auditor will give or include the particular matter in your emphasis of matter paragraph. Say for example, there is a lawsuit that is pending against the company. The management has taken several steps with respect to getting an information about what could be the outcome or how the company will be affected. So these steps that is taken by the management, what could be the outcome, uncertain events. So these I can include as a part of my emphasis of matter paragraph. Or sometimes there could be like some kind of a disaster, natural catastrophe or disaster could be there, which actually had some effect on the entity's financial position. Already we discussed about subsequent events. So in subsequent events, I told you any event that is occurring after your auditor's report or after the balance sheet date and before the auditor's report, or after the auditor's report and before the AGM. Financial statements are accepted by the company, any events that is occurring and that has a significant effect on the financials. It is affecting the financials significantly. Then those things also had to be included in your audit report. And also I told you while discussing the contents of the audit report, when the auditor is signing the audit report on that particular date, that signifies that until the particular date, whatever events have occurred and which is having an effect on the financial statement of the entities is taken into consideration. So that is a significance of signature on a particular date. So auditor has taken into effect the what are circumstances that are affecting the financials till that particular date. Now, say for example, there is a disaster that has happened after your balance sheet and before the audit report or before the auditor. So now, these kind of events which has actually had some kind of effect on the financials, say they have a reported profit, a huge reported profit before this particular catastrophe or disaster. Now after that, the whole building or just the going concern assumption itself is no more valid. So in such cases, the auditor has to specially mention that in your emphasis of matter paragraph for a better understandability. Say why the revenues were there, why it has reduced. So this is it required for your understanding of the financials. Now, other matter paragraphs. So in the next part, one is emphasis of matter paragraph. We discussed users and as for better understanding for the users with respect to the financials. So second will be other matter paragraph. Other matter paragraph, normally it is included in the audit report. When it is included, so when the auditor feels that in the judgment of the auditor, he feels that certain aspects are required to be understood by the user. So understood by the users of financial statement with relation to additional audit responsibilities or auditor's responsibilities, or even with respect to the audit report. It need not be with respect to the auditor's responsibility, sometimes with respect to the audit report. For say for example, the accounting policies, consistency, how whether it is changed, some other matter which is required to be presented. Say the auditor has, for example, the auditor is given the audit of the head office of a particular entity. So normal practice is he will do the audit of the head office. He will collect the reports from the branch auditors who have already conducted the audit of its branches. Different branches are there in India. Say a company which is located in Bangalore having 5 branches all over India, different states. Now the head office is in Bangalore, so audit is conducted in the head office. Now in order to arrive at his report, he may also need the branch auditor's report. Now, some cases the auditor is not directly using the branch auditor's report. Even though it is auditor, he might again go check or verify certain things personally, or he might do some additional work or additional responsibilities pertaining to that same audit. Head office audit, same audit with respect to that particular engagement, he might do some additional responsibilities. So these kind of matters I can include it as a part of my other matter paragraph. Now, other matter paragraph examples I can tell you. Additional responsibility that is undertaken by the auditor during the course of audit of head office, like audit of its branches. That's one example. I told you the one. Now, sometimes the auditor say he wants to resign from the engagement. Say he is not able to obtain any sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, even though some audit procedures are applied, but because of the limitation of the audit, there is some kind of a restriction or some kind of limitation to the independence of the auditor, but he is not able to resign because of the limitation of the scope of the audit that is imposed by the management. In such cases also he might include that matter as a part of your other matter paragraph. Say why he is not able to resign, because it is limited by the scope of the engagement by the manager. So in such details which he feels the users are supposed to know, which is required for a better understanding of the users. Why? So additional features like additional responsibility or additional information with respect to the audit report he can give in the other matter paragraph. So till now we saw two types of paragraphs. One is the emphasis of matter paragraph, mainly for enhancing the understandability of the financials. When the users want to know or get an idea about the additional responsibilities taken by the auditor or with respect to the audit report, it will be included as a part of my other matter paragraph. Now, third one is a key audit matter. So when we were going through the audit report format, we saw like opinion, basis for opinion, key audit matters, your emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. So what is key audit matters? Why is it included in your audit report? So sometimes during the course of audit, the auditor might have certain discussions with those charged with governance. So normally when is the discussion happening with those charged with governance? So first thing, it will be escalated at the management level. Any issue or any kind of a inconsistency in the books of accounts, or he finds any kind of a misstatement which is material, which needs correction. First thing is it will be communicated to the management. It will be escalated to the management, communication with the management. Say the management is not responding properly or not cooperating with the audit, or it is management itself is involved in the manipulation of the accounts. So in such cases, it will be escalated to the next higher authority, that is those charged with governance. Say certain discussions or certain elements which is discussed with those charged with governance directly may not come in your audit report or directly may not be there in your financials, but those were significant in the auditor's judgment. Such kind of matters which in the auditor's judgment is very, very significant with respect to that current audit, and it is mainly selected from those matters. It is mainly, I'm not telling it is only restricted to that, it is mainly selected from those communication with respect to those charged, but it could also include various other matters of high significance. Okay, so such kind of matters I will be including it in the key audit matters. So when you see key audit matters, you might get a doubt, what is the difference between key audit matters and emphasis of matter paragraph? Now, key audit matters are very, very significant matters. Okay, so it is mostly with respect to the communication with those charged with governance. Emphasis of matter paragraph need not be very significant, but inclusion of that paragraph makes the understandability of the financial statements much better. So this is the main difference. Now, key audit matters, but you have to include. This is anything significant, definitely have to be included in your key audit matters. Now, what is the purpose of such a paragraph or such a element in your audit report? So, one is to make the users of the financial statement aware about what was the thing that was most significant during the audit. So, apart from the audit opinion that is given based on the conclusions that is reached by the auditor, there are few things that are significant. So, such things auditor has to make sure that the particular user are aware of that. So, such kind of elements the auditor includes in your key audit matters. Say for example, it could also be with respect to judgment, wherever the judgment of your management or those charged with governance is involved. So the judgment, they might feel that that judgment is correct or the estimations that is reached is accurate, but sometimes in the auditor's opinion it might not be. Say for example, provisioning for your bad debts or different yeah, provision. That's the best example. Provisioning, say for example the management has given a provision of like say 5% of bad debt, so 10%. But this auditor has been like doing the audit of that particular entity for like 5 years or so. From his experience, from the verification of the books of accounts, he feels that every year there is a bad debt percentage of around 20 to 30%. So this 5% wouldn't suffice. So in such cases, the auditor might feel whatever the provision is estimated by the management is not accurate. So those kind of matters which are significant, which needs to be brought to the notice of the users, will be included as a part of my key audit matters. So basically purpose is to provide additional information to the intended users that were of most significance in the audit, as is the intended users in the understanding of the entity and areas of significant management judgment in the audited financial statements. Now the next one is with respect to factors. So what are the factors that will help or assist the auditor in determining the key audit matter? So it is not like just like everything can be included as a part of your key audit matter. So as I told you, one could be with respect to estimation. Say say for example in the emphasis of matter paragraph here, when I'm telling about this, another example would be, say the particular company has invested has made some investments, and in your financials it's just investments. Now the auditor wants to clarify like what kind of investment it is being made by the company. So it is like investments of in the current assets of its subsidiaries. So in such, again I can do that in my emphasis. Now here, what are the factors that will be determining the whether the particular element comes or falls as a part of your key audit matter? The first one is risk of material misstatement. So how much is the assessed risk of material misstatement? Or it could be also risk as per the SA 315, that is understanding through the understanding of the entity. So either it could be by understanding of the organization, what are the different functions within the organization, what industry it pertains to, what investment it has given. So all with respect to the understanding, the auditor comes to the assessment of the risk. So with respect to that, areas whichever is having a high assessed risk of material misstatement could also be made a part of this key audit matter. Or it could be what significant management judgment, as I told you, with respect to the estimates. And also sometimes there will be some significant events or transactions, say related party transactions, which is not very common, not routine transactions, or transactions in order to evade tax. So tax holidays, so some kind of transactions which is significant and which is also material nature, such kind of transactions which needs to be brought to the attention of the users. Again, the auditor can include that in your key audit matter. So what are the three things? One is areas of high assessed risk of material misstatement. Second is with respect to the management's judgment, significant management judgments involved. And the third one could be with respect to significant transactions or events that has occurred. So basically these are the factors that decide whether the particular elements qualifies for being put into key audit matters. Now last, how is it communicated? So I told you it is communicated through the audit report. There is a separate paragraph called as key audit matters, where you are including the matters of utmost significance. And so key audit matters will be those elements having utmost significance, mostly those which is communicated with those charged with governance. And as I told you, what are the factors? One of the factors should be with respect to your risk of material misstatement, assessed risk of material misstatement. If it is high, obviously it will come as a part of that. Second is with respect to your management estimates or judgments, significant management judgments. Third is with respect to any kind of audit events, significant events or transactions that is income. Now the last one is one question that pops up is, say for example, so one of the factors that comes is with respect to what are the things whether this particular key audit matter or this emphasis of matter paragraph or your other matter paragraph will be a substitute for certain other elements. Say this particular key audit matter will not be a substitute for your modified opinion. So in place where you have to give an opinion or modified opinion, you have to deal with that. You have to give a modified opinion. Again, this is not a substitute for your report on going concern assumption. That is the second thing. It is not a substitute for the report on going concern assumption. Third, it is not a substitute for the disclosures that you have given in your statement. So this key audit matters or your other matter paragraphs are not any substitute for from giving the opinion, a modified opinion, or it is not a substitute for giving appropriate disclosures in your financial reporting in your financials, or it is not a substitute for giving a report on the appropriateness of the going concern assumptions. We discussed what is a going concern assumption, whose duty is it to give the assumption with respect to going concern. It is a management duty. Now auditor has to comment on the appropriateness of that duty, appropriateness of the going concern assumption that is put forward by the management. Now this particular inclusion of key audit matters will not be a substitute or will not refrain the auditor from giving those details in the respective paragraph. So that is one main point that you have to understand. So today we covered what is the objective of this particular essay 706 with respect to emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. We saw what is an emphasis of matter paragraph. We saw what is an other matter paragraph. Then we saw the different examples with respect to emphasis of matter paragraph as well as other matter paragraph. Then we saw what is the key audit matter. Then we saw what is the purpose of inclusion of this particular element called as key audit matter in the financials. What are the factors that is affecting the inclusion of the key, what are the factors that helps the auditor in determining the key audit matters. And finally we saw what are the different, whether inclusion of the key audit matter or emphasis of matter paragraph or other matter paragraph, how it is not a substitute for giving the modified opinion or a report on going concern assumption or also your disclosures. So we actually dealt with all the topics with regard to emphasis, other matter and the key audit matters. So this covers your main of the audit report chapter. So first was with respect to unmodified opinion, general reporting, what is the format of the report. Second was with respect to modified opinion, what are the different types of opinion. Now this session covers what are the other elements of the report, that is emphasis of matter and other matter paragraphs and also key audit matters. So when each of that are included. So we'll see in the next session with another topic. So till then just go through the slides. This covers almost all the parts of your audit report chapter. So we'll see in the next session then. Thank you.